let's start the second half of the meeting with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right. So we have one of our alumni from back in the day, all the way back in the 1900s. So come on up, David. Let's give David a round of applause.
I'm David. I'm an alcoholic. And just as the story goes, I'm an addict, but I get my recovery in Alcoholics Anonymous.
There you go.
And you get in where you fit in. My sobriety date is 11/12/23. I have a sponsor. My sponsor's here right now with me, Paul. Thank you. We don't do this thing alone. And, the more that I get acquainted with people, the better off I am. And that's the unity part of this program for me. So I was told to share what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. I was born September 5th, 1964 in San Pedro. I was born and raised here. My childhood, and first of all, I never shared my personal story with anybody. Not that it's like special or I never have done that yet. And some of the reasons, it's a small town. And a lot of my parents' co-workers used to come to these meetings. My parents retired off the waterfront. And, we had this thing when I was a kid, you're supposed to be seen but not heard. And what goes on in the house stays in the house. By the time I was 11, after getting beat from 5 to about 7 years old. By the way, I used to pee the bed when I was a kid. And I used to think that's why I got beat. And at one point I was so scared to get my ass beat in the morning. I didn't know it was because I peed the bed or I was just getting my ass beat because I was a stepson. And I formed all these ideas early on in life. And 80% of the things I think today is not even happening. And that's that delusion that we come in here with, driven by 100 forms of fear. Most men don't want to talk about fear because we have that bumper sticker that says no fear. You know what? But we do a fears inventory here in Alcoholics Anonymous. And, we learn how to outgrow our fears. We face our fears. Everything that I ran from in recovery in the past, I'm faced with today. And really that's life on life's terms. Anyway, back to my childhood. When my stepdad raised me, my father went away when I was 5. My mother used to tell me he's a fireman. And, later on in life, I realized I was going to fire camps to visit him when I was a kid, but he was a fireman, and that's what my mother told me. For 4 of the 7 years my mother was married to my father, he was in prison, and she finally just cut the line with him. And we ended up in the projects, a place called Harbor Hills up here on Western. Out by Harbor City. We stayed there for a little while. My stepdad came along, and I just knew that's not my dad. I had that abandonment issue from my father. I didn't know it was abandonment that I was feeling at that time. And by the way, thank you for sharing your story, man. It takes courage to come up here. And so I do have courage today. And the most important thing I can express today is my honesty. And that's the first principle in the program. And I try to uphold that. And in that honesty, I don't have to lie to myself today. I don't have to have that mask on either, man. Here I am. And, I try to meet God where I'm at every day. I ran from a lot of things in my life. And I use that excuse, I didn't get raised right. My teachers didn't understand. The cops wouldn't get off my back. Through it all, I acquired... I think 20 11-550s under the influences, and that's the only time I ever went to jail was the county jail. I spent the 80s and 90s going to jail, and coming into treatment programs like this. I was here, and I believe the end of 1994. It was called the Mesa House then, and then Fred turned it into a recovery, treatment program, and. I didn't stay, and then I came back again, and I completed the program, and I was loaded like a week later, and that's how I lived my life around these rooms for years. And I've been everywhere: church homes, Victory Outreach, New Life in San Ysidro, California, Beacon House twice, Acton twice, Warm Springs twice, Chandler Lodge, all these places. I became codependent on programs. And at the end of it all, I realized, you know, you can learn everything you need to learn in 90 days, man, and start applying this stuff to your life, man. I didn't want to change my life. I wanted to have my cake and eat it too, and go show my friends I'm clean and sober, and you know, I got a little weight on me, and got a smile on my face, and you know, and that was short-lived every time. And you know, my mother gave me, rest in peace, my mother. She died last year, and she gave me a cake for 1 year in 1992, and from then until now, it was just in and out of the program. And my mother took a hit with my stepdad because of my behavior. You know, we domino effect around here. You know, when we hurt our loved ones, it's a domino effect. You know, we hurt the whole family, man. Speaking of family, I had 3 brothers from my father's second marriage. They got fostered out, no contact. I have my younger brother, he don't talk to me. My younger sister don't talk to me. I'm really close to my older sister. We actually have a relationship today. And that's only because I'm in recovery. You know, I'm not just sober, I'm actually in recovery. I'm on my 10th step right now. I bounce around a little bit. And there's some people in the room, I couldn't have done it without them. You know, somebody took a chance with me and allowed me to be a volunteer at the Alumni Club. And I opened the club up every morning, and you know, I closed my shift out every day. I did that for 9 months, living in a homeless shelter with my dog. And people were getting high in the homeless shelter, doing their thing. And, you know, I just told myself I'm not there to meet my new best friend. You know what? And I weathered the storm there. 11 months later, the federal government, I got to give them props, man. I ended up with a Section 8 voucher. I have a brand new apartment. My dog and I are living good, man. And that can all go away in the blink of an eye, man. You know, so I got to stay strong every day when I wake up. There's certain things I do, man. I do a 3rd-step prayer, a 7th-step prayer. I do a personal prayer, and I start my day off, man. I just went through a surgery recently. I had an inguinal hernia operation with the mesh. It's the 2nd time they've done it. This time it was a success. You know, I want to let you know I went through a liver treatment program for hepatitis C. I did the treatment, overcame the hepatitis C that I had for years, man. By the way, I've been a junkie since 1981, 82. I did the coke, shooting cocaine, shooting heroin, shooting meth, all of it, man. Smoked sherm. I just want to do a little qualifier with you guys. My stepdad was a hippie. He gave me my first pound of weed when I was 11 years old. He taught me how to roll a joint, and I thought I arrived. I grew up in Point Furman. I used to surf every morning before school, after school, during school. You know, I had a wonderful life there for a minute. 1977, it was a real impacting year to me. My aunt died, my grandpa died, all in the same year, and we moved away for a year out to Ontario, California, and how dare you take my surfing away from me? You know what, but through it all, I was dropping downers, Valiums, Quaaludes, all that stuff. Of course, it was under adult supervision. You know, my stepdad's motto was a family that gets high together stays together. And that was a lie. He used to tell me, booze you lose, dope there's hope. And I want to say that with some emphasis on the alcohol. Alcohol has caused me more trouble in my life than any kind of drugs, man. You know what, I don't drink well. I'm not a good drinker. I use drugs alcoholically. By the way, I'm on my 10th step right now. You know, so like I'm about it. You know what, before, like I said, I've been in and out of the fellowship here for a long time, man. And my first NA meeting was in 1987 at the Korean Bell. It was called Angels Gate meeting. They have it at the Alumni Club every Saturday night. I have a lot of history with that particular meeting. On 11/12/23, I asked Paul to be my sponsor, and he's been my sponsor since, man. And there's no reason to change sponsors. You know what? I built a trust with my sponsor, man, and you know, I feel like I'm doing what I got to do every day. And at this point, this thing isn't about me, man. It's about connecting with other people. You know what? And I want to say that because the last 12 years of my mother's life, we didn't talk. You know what? And she took so much shit for my behavior with my stepdad through the years. She just broke it off with me, man. And, you know, once again, I would show up in a treatment facility and call them mom and dad and letting them know I'm doing really good. And that's what I'm talking about, lying to myself. And believe me, the disease is real patient. it'll wait for you for 9 months in a treatment program. You know, I did Redgate in 2000 for the third time, and it was all about getting my girlfriend back. And I completed the program, and I was high like a week later. You know what? I don't lie to myself today. I'm building the most important relationship is with my Creator, you know, my God, my higher power. And that's really what the big book was written for you to find a power greater than yourself that will help you with your problems. But I had to identify what the problem was. You know, you guys were my problem. The cops were my problem. My teachers were my problem. My parents didn't raise me right. Nobody understands me, man. That was like my delusional, you know, definition of what a problem is. You know what? Now I know what the problem is. When I add alcohol, it's all over, man. The drugs come along for the ride too, and all bets are off. You know, it doesn't matter how beautiful a relationship I have, the best job in the world. You know what? It doesn't matter if you have a master's degree, a PhD. That's not going to save you from the first drink. There's a statement in the big book. We have a daily reprieve contingent upon our spiritual maintenance. A daily reprieve, if you look up the word reprieve, that means a pardon from a death sentence. And that's what the disease is, a death sentence. You might be doing suicide on the installment program. Might take you 20, 30 years, but the outcome is jails, like in Narcotics Anonymous. You guys talk about jails, institutions, and death. And that's really the bottom line. You're not going to beat the disease of alcoholism. You know, yeah, I have a lot of like bitterness that I've gotten rid of through doing the step work towards the way I was raised. You know, and this is kind of like a joke, but my stepdad was from Wilmington, my father's from San Pedro, and they rival each other. You know, and you know, I kind of feel bad in a way because I shunned my stepdad as him being my dad, and technically he was my dad. And I thank God for him today that he kept my brother and my sister and me together, because who knows what would have happened. We would have probably been in the system, you know, if my stepdad didn't come along. And I got to give him props for one other thing. He put food on the table for 3 kids that weren't his. You know, and, you know, I got to love him for that. I don't like the way he was. He didn't like who I was. You know what? That's all circumstantial stuff, man. You know, to get to the core of it, man, you know, he took care of my brother and my sister and my mother. You know, I didn't like him. You know, and that was the disease before the actual encounter with the alcohol and the drugs. I didn't do well in school. You know, I did my high school at Alma Park instead of going to San Pedro High School. You know what? And they kicked me out when I was 16. I took my surfboard to Cabrillo Beach with a suitcase, and all my friends lived in Point Furman, and all my friends got high and drank. And I'll tell you what, everybody in this room with me right now, and I'm no different than you guys sitting in the seats, man. I'm just one drink away from a drunk, man. But I do what I have to do every day to stay sober. I suit up and I show up, man. I meet God right where I'm at every day. And you know what? I learned how to smile on Alcoholics Anonymous. I always had that stink face, man. And it didn't get me nowhere in life. It shut some doors. Just like when I was found out to be a junkie, it shut a lot of doors. Anyway, yeah, I didn't do good in high school. I found my way of life, commercial fishing. I did that for about 20 years, and I burnt that out. You know, my name became mud. But I fished out of San Pedro here. I used to fish Mexico, all the islands out here, halfway from here to Hawaii, swordfish, shark. I did it all. And bottom gear for halibut, all that stuff, man. And to me, it wasn't even a job. It was like a way of life. Just like being an alcoholic's a way of life. You know, now recovery is a way of life for me. I've learned more in this last 20 months than I have my whole life. And really, I learned about myself. I took myself off the cross. I don't have to be angry at myself anymore. What's done is done, man. I made peace with a lot of things through doing step work. And there's more to it than just showing up in meetings. You know what? I used to hide out in meetings till the Alumni Club put a restraining order on me. I thought it was okay to shoot dope in the bathrooms there. And they gave me a restraining order, I think, for like 3 years. And, you know, that's part of my story. I really regret not making peace with my mother It really affects me. But my sponsor pointed out to me I can make a living amends today. So what I try to do to the best of my ability every day is I try to live my life the way I think my mother would have wanted me to live. You know, and it's just that simple. They say this is a simple program for complicated people. I don't have to be complicated anymore, analyze everything, pick you apart. And some of my delusion, and you know, for example, she smiles at me, that means she likes me. You know what I mean? And that's a delusional thought for me. And I've been in that delusion most of my life. You don't smile at me, that means you don't like me. That's self-centeredness. There's an important sentence in the big book. It says, if we don't rid ourselves of our selfishness, it will kill us. And that's a pretty strong statement. It says, above all things, we have to rid ourselves of selfishness. I didn't know how selfish I was until I started coming out of my selfishness. We're self-centered, self-seeking. It's all about me. You don't understand all that stuff, man. It's unimportant, man. And really, it doesn't matter what I knew before I got here. Most of us know how to survive, put our mask on, and you know, do our hustle to stay drunk and loaded, and you know, and really at the end of it all I did was cheated myself out of a life. Like I said, some of my first meetings go back to 1986 on a court card. And I remember people that some are still alive today, that they've been sober all that time. Is what they did is they created, careers. They bought their homes. They got kids. You know, they had kids and stuff. They got married. They go on vacations, all that stuff that I thought that's what lamos do, you know. But I remember when I was a little kid, man, that was, you know, be honest with yourself. Most human beings, men, they want to be married. You know, that's our little fantasy when we're kids. You know, I want to be a fireman or whatever it was, man. But I sold all my dreams out for another fix and another drink. And I used to sit on this bench out here across the street, you know, drinking my Kesslers, and thought I was on top of the world. I was lonely as hell, man. And I was too chicken shit, pardon my language, but I was too cheap to do what you got to do to stay here. This thing is manageable. You know, it doesn't matter how far down the scale you went. It doesn't matter what kind of story you have. You know what? You can overcome just like me. You have the same tools as I do to recover. And what recovery means is restoration and healing. Restored to a rightful state of being the way my Creator intended me to be. My Creator didn't intend me to be stuck in my arm with a syringe. You know, this thing is about building friendships and relationships with people, man. You know, normally we're people that don't mix, like some of the readings in the big book say. You know, but we learn how to be around each other, and it's really important to show respect to the fellowship you're in by simply saying, if you're in an AA meeting and you're an addict, just say you're an alcoholic. You know, and vice versa. And if you read in the Narcotics Anonymous book, they pay high tribute to Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, they pay respect to Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, I started out in Narcotics Anonymous, and I'm okay with where I'm at. Like I said earlier, you get in where you fit in. You know what? This thing is about learning about who you are and what your capability is as a human being. You know, sounds kind of hokey, man, but I'm all for it, man, about like touching people's hearts and communicating with people on like a realistic level, the way my Creator wants me to do. He wants us to fellowship and live our lives, man. He wants the best for us, you know, but I got to make that choice every day, man. You know, I don't need to put on the mask and like some people say, oh, chingon, and you know what, that kind of life is over, man. Everybody in this room has the opportunity to change your life, man. And I'm amazed at where I'm at right now. In Alcoholics Anonymous, on page 164 of the big book, it talks the promises. You know, great events will come to pass for you and countless others. That's part of the promises. You know, we will lose financial insecurities. I want to say, once again, the federal government saw fit for me to get on Social Security, man. And I did the footwork to do that. It took me a year, but I did that. And I'm not ashamed of, I have some mental health issues. I don't know who doesn't if they shot speed for, 20, 30 years. You know, you twisted your brain circuits. But all that stuff is repairable. But I never looked at the problem, man. And in the big book, there's some little comments that were written about me. An outright mental defect. a full flight from reality, maladjusted to life, man. And I felt that my whole life, maladjusted, man. People didn't understand me. I didn't even understand myself. And what really, the cause of that, when I was a kid, when something impacting happened, like when the cops came in our house when I was 5 years old, I didn't know what was going on. But I wasn't allowed to like voice my feelings. You're supposed to be seen but not heard. So in that kind of upbringing, I created all these ideas of reality. And every time I got sober, I couldn't deal with reality without the use of alcohol or drugs. You know, and I would last 30, 60, 90 days. You know, I got a year a couple times, 18 months before. I had 2 years until I found her, you know, and she was an earth sign, I'm a water sign. Together we made mud together, man. And you know what, that's the story of my life in Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous, dating women. And that's no pun against women. But, you know, water seeps its own level. You know what, I'm going to stick it out and start do me. I'm going to do me right now. And, you know, I'm starting to have I like myself today. You know, I'm not browbeating myself from my past, man. You know, I'd like to think my mother's looking down at me right now and being pleased. And to be honest, I want to say this too. Fred Brown really took care of me. He really did. And, you know, he saw fit for me to come back in his homes a couple times. You know, and I used to think Fred Brown was mean to me, but really I was a jerk. I was a 25-year-old kid that thought I knew everything, man. And you're not going to tell me anything. I'm trying to tell the help how to help me, you know. And I don't have that luxury today. You know what? It's either you're all in or you're all out, man. There's no halfway in and halfway out, you know. So I do what I have to do every day. You know, some days I'm grateful to be alive. I want to say that, and it's a privilege to be here with you guys. It's not my right to be here. It's a privilege to be sober. And I can't put that into words sometimes. You know what? I don't always feel grateful, but I act grateful. You know, I don't like misdirect my anger. You know, and like when I'm angry, you know, I got to step back. And the big book tells me, step back. We don't struggle here, man. You know, there's some good advice in that big book. All you got to do is pick it up and read it. And if you have the disease of alcoholism, and it might come in the form of drug addiction. I know there's a lot of addicts in here tonight. I respect Narcotics Anonymous. When I'm in Narcotics Anonymous, you just it's about getting okay with yourself. And the way I look at it now, if I go and drink and use, I'm not okay with myself. There's no reason not to be okay with yourself here. The war's over. We lost. You know? So that's the end of your life. Now we have a new life here. And there's things I gotta do every day. And like I said, when I was in the homeless shelter, you know, it was an interesting experience. But I stuck it out for 11 months, and then I got housed out here in Wilmington. I live in Wilmington on PCH in Avalon, and I'm happy there, man. You know, I actually have a case manager on site that I got to touch down with, so I have some accountability with him. I have a therapist today. I have an advocate for my where I got they put me in the shelter. I have my sponsor. I have Sponsee Brothers today, and I interact with them. You know what? I'm not just like up here saying I got Sponsee Brothers just to say it. I'm not up here saying I got a sponsor just to say it. You know what? I got the greatest sponsor in the world. He's going to keep me sober. And I love my sponsor, man. But you know what? My sponsor is only as good as I am willing to do the work. Right. And this work isn't like it's not that hard. But we make things hard. We're undisciplined people, man. And if you think like going 15 miles on foot, barefooted, pair of shorts and a slingshot in the pouring down rain to go to your connection or go to the bar, that's not discipline. That's crazy, man. You know, that's crazy, man. And I'm that guy that walked 25 miles. I walked from here to Huntington Beach, man, and back, all spun out, you know, and, you know, I was doing my thing, man. And all I was doing was cheating myself out of life, man. I admire anybody that comes here and stays sober, man, and they create a life for themselves. Don't forget, we're worth it, man. You know, we're capable people, but we got to believe in ourselves, man. What happens is my head lies to me all day long. I got to shut it down, man. I got to call somebody or run my crazy ideas by somebody. Because left to myself, I start drifting into morbid reflection and thinking, man, I really did some crappy things in my life. I was a crappy son. I was a crappy brother to my sisters and my brother. Takes a lot, man, to just to be okay with yourself in spite of what happened. You know, and I got a really good life today. I really have a good life, and I believe what I'm saying. It's not because I have all the things that, you know, I'd like to have, but I'm happy with the things I got, man. You know, I just ate dinner with my sponsor, man. That's big stuff, man. I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't eating when I was out there, man. You know, I was going to the mission, maybe eating every couple of days. I was the guy that had a pair of shoes that the sole was wearing out, so I'd get a cardboard box and cut the shape of my foot and use that for inserts, because I didn't want to go buy a pair of shoes for myself. You know, everything went for drugs and alcohol, everything. I put everything that was good in my life, you know, in my arm. And, you know, sitting at the bar, telling my stories. You know what, I don't have to live like that today. I don't live like an animal anymore. You know what, and that's how I lived out there. You know, I had no care for anybody. I didn't have no care for myself. I believe God is in my life today, and I have to put that out to other people today. And I do the best I can. You know, I'm not perfect at this thing. My teeth are starting to fall out. You know, the glue, I don't have the good glue right now. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that today, man. That was one of my first attempts at self-love, man, because I had rotten teeth, man, and I had them all taken out. Thank you for Medi-Cal, federal government again. And I bring that up to say that there's help for all of us here, man. You just got to seek it out, man. You know, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And you know what? There's help for everybody, man. And this is a good start here at this treatment facility, man. You know, this will introduce you to life. You know what? But I got to do my part in life every day. I got to suit up and show up, especially when I don't want to. And one other thing that's important, when we're inconvenienced here, that's a good thing. That's how the program works, man. Because we don't get it our way. This isn't Burger King. Okay, how many minutes, Sean? 3 minutes. Okay, you know what? I pray to my God every day, and throughout the day, I say, "Thy will be done, not mine." You know what? I interact with society to the best of my ability. I smile. I talk to people I don't know, and that's a big thing for me. I grew up in a little bubble of people, and most of them people are dead today. You know what? I'm glad I'm alive. I want to live today, and I'm doing what I have to do every day to live. You know what? I'm worth it today, and so are you guys. And I'm no different than anybody else in here. And one important thing I want to leave you guys with, I'm equal with everybody. You know, and that falls in the unity category. I never unified with anybody. I always did my own thing. And I got what I had coming, man. Today, you know, if I'm in a struggle or things aren't going the way I think they should, that's when faith kicks in. The third step, I turn it over to God. You know what? I learned how to have humility here and realize my way of life isn't working. That's 7 and 8. And 9th step, I had to get honest in that step. And as a result of doing that 5th step, I realized that my behavior caused a lot of my resentments. Right now, I'm on a maintenance step, the 10th step. And, you know, I'm also in my 9th step. I've made a couple of amends so far, a couple financial. I owed this pawn shop $10. It was on my heart, though. It's funny, a quarter is just as important as a $100 bill. You know what? It's the principle. You know what? I do the best I can every day to live with principles. You know, and I can't ease up on that. I know my time is over. Is that Rob right there? Yeah. I'm glad you made it, man. Hey, listen, it's a privilege to be here with you guys. And I want to thank you guys for allowing me to share my story to the best of my ability. Thank you.